The following broadcast is a Nighthawk Network presentation. Hey, what up, though? Good evening, everybody. How are you? It is your boy E-Buck, the man they call the Nighthawk, and this is the I Am Nighthawk Podcast. Thank you guys for joining, whether you are watching this live or if you catch it later on. I'm sure the first thing you will notice is that my eye, this eye right there, is a little droop. Trust me, I'm not having a stroke or anything. Had an issue with my eye a couple days ago where it became irritated and it was bad. It's getting better. I can see and everything, but it just looks bad on screen and it's kind of bothering me with the light sensitivity because I had that issue anyway because of the medication. So forgive me guys, but I am going to do something that I know some of y'all don't like when I do it, but it's kind of necessary this evening, and put on some of these spectacles. So one, you're not so concentrated on the eye, and I'm not either. And two, the light not bothering me so much. Matter of fact, let me adjust this a little bit. That would help as well. So yeah, there is that. So thank you for your understanding. That being said, hopefully you guys are having a good week. Mine, the eye and other things, just a lot of little stuff that's kind of not gelling right now. I'm okay. I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow. I do need to talk to the doctor about a few things. Stuff still not quite feeling right. Nothing that I'm overly concerned about at the moment, but just not quite in sync with where I need to be at the moment. So I will update you guys about that as time goes on. But in the meanwhile, I am alive to tell another story or two. Thusly, here we are with the I Am Nighthawk Podcast, the podcast that I use to talk about the things that I think about while oftentimes you guys are asleep or just not woke even. So at any rate, I am here to discuss with y'all this evening. Let's get it in. I do hope that my good friend pops in today because I have a special surprise for my friend when she does. Y'all know who it is. She is a constant supporter of the show, and I want to do something special for her. And hopefully she will check this out and I can let her see what I did. In the meanwhile, how's everybody this evening? Hopefully, wherever you are around the world, because the Nighthawk Network is international, that you are checking this out. And please like, subscribe, and make a couple comments here and there so I know you're tuned in. Say hey, say good looking, something. That's always appreciated. And the more interaction we get on these social media things is a little bit better for the product overall. You know how that goes. Anyway, doing something a little different tonight. Actually, we're gonna go back old school a little bit. So I'm calling this one of the Get Off My Lawn episodes because don't have no great topic to talk about per se, but have a lot of little things that have been kind of picking with me. So I'm gonna kind of address some of those this evening, and maybe one or two of y'all, if y'all have something that y'all would like to discuss with the masses here on the internet. So yeah, if you got a topic you want to throw out there for us to talk about while I'm getting stuff off my chest, feel free. So yeah, we're going back to the old school with a good old Get Off My Lawn episode. So yeah, by all means, we about to go ahead and change things back to how it used to be back when I did the show, and it was Get Off My Lawn. Don't worry, I know soon as some of y'all see that, you're gonna be always one of them old episodes. Here he is talking about COVID-19 and stuff again. No. We're not going there today. I'm hoping that we don't have to go there no time soon, if at all. But winter is coming. We'll see. Anyway, Get Off My Lawn. We even gonna go so far as to we gotta leave the Nighthawk up there. You know what I'm saying? That way it is a new episode at least. But yep, y'all remember that old background from back in the day to get off my lawn? There it is, there it is. So yep, let's get it started with the Get Off My Lawn edition of the I Am Nighthawk Podcast. Let's see, where do I want to start? First of all, I want to say today, people here in America was election day. Did you vote? I most safely assume that the majority of you did not. Because understand that we know, based on certain polls, that most of you, the majority of people who vote, only vote during presidential elections. That is not so good. And even when you do vote during presidential elections, only about 60, not even 60 most time, really about 50% of you vote then. There are over 200 million eligible voters here in these United States. I imagine today, based on what it is, keep in mind here in Detroit, wasn't really on the vote on. Maybe a good 70 million of you or so will exercise your right to vote, that very special right that you should cherish very deeply. Now, again, I've had that conversation even today with people like, man, I ain't worried about vote. I got other people that vote for me. My vote don't count anyway. I don't know what I'm talking about. You should know what's going on in your society. You should know what's going on in your city or state. You definitely should know what's going on in your neighborhood and whatnot. As we got Coach V checking in. What up, though, Coach? What's happening? Hopefully you are doing better, my friend. I know you have been going through your health situations this year, along with myself. So I do understand you are in my prayers, my guy. Indeed. Plus, I am interested to hear about your flag football situation. We'll talk about that perhaps on the episode of the Big Buck Sports Report sometime soon. Yeah, you could fill us in on how that's going to go and see what we could do to get you some support over there, you know? But anyway, as I was saying, if you are in one of those townships or cities or locales where voting was taking place today, I hope you did do so if you could and you should, because you got people running for mayor and city council, and you got proposals. I mean, for example, in the good old state of Ohio, they are deciding once again if they want to make marijuana recreational. I do believe that will pass. I do believe also on their ballot they are determining if they want to legalize abortion there as well. Ohio being Ohio, that's a 50-50. Remember, Ohio is pretty much a Republican state. You know how it work out these days. You got your straight up Democrat states, your Californias, New Yorks. You got your straight up Republican states, your Alabamas and whatnot. Then you got the states like us, swing states as they call them. But of course, I call them purple states because it's basically part Republican, part Democrat. And depending on what it is, it goes either way. So there's that. But anyway, yeah, there are a few people up for election. Hopefully you make the choices that will benefit the majority of the people. Or if you just choose to make the choice that benefits yourself, then so be it. But please exercise your right to vote. That is what it's for, people. That is what it's for. Many people died wishing they could have voted on what went on their side of the blue ball. Okay? That part. So got that off of my chest. All right, let us keep it moving and keep it grooving. The next item up for business I want to talk about is the UAW, who apparently are now in the process of ratifying all of the tentative deals with the three big automakers. It does appear the common thread in all of that is that all three of them have secured significant raises for the people of their constituency. So congrats on that. A lot of security in terms of jobs not being taken due to new technology, the battery cars and all of that. A lot of that got dealt with. People getting proper increases with their pensions. Several people are set up to where, even though their significant other is no longer here, that they will get payment increases based on their behalf, even after their death. I found that to be kind of interesting, but a good thing. Yeah, that might be a good reason why you want to do a plant job if they even look out for you after you're gone to that degree. Your thoughts. Uh, the other good news appears to be that because they have looked out, as we got young Charles checking in. What's going on, Charles? Thank you for checking in, brother. Um, because the big three were able to get the type of deals that they have made, they are now looking to increase pay for people who are not in the union. Also, people who are not in the big three. Remember, there are other cars that get made here in America outside of Ford, Chrysler, or Ford Stellantis and GM. You have your Hondas and Kias and things of the world, Toyotas and whatnot. There are such plants here in America. So those people are probably going to get pay increases down the line as well, which is good. Of course, there are several other unions on strike right now, among them still being people like the casinos here in Detroit. They're still trying to get a deal going. Hopefully that'll happen sooner than later. You still got the Blue Cross Blue Shield people working on something. I think they're on the verge of ending that strike, I believe, last I heard. There are other smaller groups that we are not quite as familiar with still on strike. So I pray that those things get resolved before the holidays come. The holidays is tight for certain people as it is. I would hate for it to get to a point to where here we are around the holidays and people are struggling because they on strike. I mean, granted, you look at it like, well, it's your fault. You want to decide to walk out, but in the same token, everybody just want their fair share. We are starting to see for ourselves that part of this economy where we keep being told that it's so bad and everything's so hot for a reason. It's because, as I've said back in the get off my lawn days, when they shut everything down, somewhere down the line, they was gonna figure out a way to make up all the money that they were losing at that time, all the money that they handing out to folks. Slowly but surely, they got that money back and probably then some, and some income on that. I mean, let me mention something like the lottery, for instance. Notice how nobody's winning the lottery consistently like that. Maybe it's like 5 or 6 big winners every year now. And of course, with just about everybody taking a lump sum, that lump sum's going somewhere. So even now, if you win, I believe tonight's Mega Millions or Powerball, whichever one it is like about 200 million. So lump sum is about 100 million. Then after taxes, depending on what state you live in, you're looking at somewhere between 60 and 80 million, maybe. So yeah, most of that money that you thought you was getting in that jackpot, they're gonna hand you that big check. They say 200 million, but you ain't getting that much for real. And that money's going in somebody's pockets. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that part there. So anyway, like I said, we got some things to advertise. I'm hoping that our good friend, the one we call Road to Stardom, tunes in this evening and checks in the building so I can show her the surprise I prepared for her. In the meanwhile, we will continue on in the process of this Get Off My Lawn edition of the I Am Nighthawk Podcast. I am glad that you guys are checking it out. For those of you checking it out live, and again, you check it out later on after the fact, let us know you checked in. Say hi, put a comment, put a like, any of that good stuff. Let us know if you're checking in from YouTube, Facebook. And we are setting up things to where we can eventually post some of these on the IG as well. My good buddy Hugh Lee checking in saying, I need some of that lottery money. I know that's right, bro. You already know. I didn't play today, but if I did and I won, you already know. You good. You one of a few people I'm definitely going to look out for because you always look out for me, my guy. You know what it is. You fam. But anyway, what else I got on this list of things I need to get off my chest on this Get Off My Lawn edition? Okay, let's talk about the latest chapter of war by the world. Understand, like I said, there are civil conflicts going on throughout the world. I forget how the quote goes, but basically, the sun doesn't set on the world in a place where there's not some type of conflict happening. Here you go with this one. Let me hit that big FanDuel parlay, man. You know we had that discussion several times. FanDuel they making their money, no doubt about it. But one of these days, my brother, one of these days, we gonna get them with a little something. We gonna get the right combination of folks doing the right thing and be all right. At least make some money to do a little something, buy a couple pieces of furniture or something, maybe, who knows. But back to this war thing. It is very hard to even discuss this thing without feeling it's a tightrope walk. Let's put it that way. The best thing for anybody to say at this point is we don't want anybody to die that didn't have nothing to really do with it. Okay? Let's just put it that way. Because if you speak on one end of it, then you being seen as anti-Semitic. You speak on another end of it, then you're seen as being hateful to the Arabics and Muslims. It's a very, very fine line. I love all people. Okay, let me make that very abundantly clear. I am on neither side of any of this. I hate that it even had to happen in the first place. I don't know nothing about Hamas per se or Hezbollah. I mean, they talk about it every day and educate us a little bit, but I'm still, these things date back hundreds and thousands of years, okay? These conflicts go back to the days before Christ. All right, so for us to really speak on them as if we know we are not members of that to where we have that history, there's nothing we should really speak on in regards to any of that. All I know is today and pretty much every day afterwards until it's over, somebody is dying that shouldn't have died because of this, and I am sad by it. I pray every day that these wars, whether it be that one or the one in oh goodness, I'm brain freezing for a minute, y'all. I apologize, and I'm trying not to mess with this eye. By the way, that's the other reason why I wore these glasses. Ukraine, yeah, we want that one to end, and anything else that might jump off, we don't want it to even start. Okay, it's too much going on. Every week or 2 weeks, we still having these mass shootings. I'm tired of that. Can we ever find peace? I know the world wasn't set up that way, but it'd really be nice if one day everybody just kind of shut it down. I mean, even during COVID, stuff was going on, but not to any great degree. I hate it takes something like that to make things happen. I'm not wishing nothing like that to ever happen. And there again, I promise I'll talk about it. I'm sorry, but it just popped up in the combo. My bad. This is my lawn. You don't like it? Get off my lawn. Anyway, I'm gonna take a quick commercial break just because I want to relive some of the old promos and then talk about some of the new stuff we working on. In the meanwhile, y'all remember this one? What's up, everybody? Eric Buckner here. You know Miss EB, Young Easy, Eric Buck, all that good stuff. Anyway, I'm here to kick it with y'all about this little podcast I've been doing. I talk trending topics. I talk about the stuff we as people need to talk about. I talk about some things actually that people kind of want to shy away from because we got to have these discussions, folks. That's how we get better. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, hold on. Yeah, so anyway, I do it Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m. You can check it out on Facebook, on YouTube. It's a good show. I say get into it. Yeah, you want to know the name of the show? You said, hold on. Hey, you! Get off my lawn! Yeah, anyway, that's the name of the show, by the way. Get Off My Lawn. Check it out, Tuesdays, 8:30. Yes, this is the Get Off My Lawn edition. Y'all remember that promo I did back in the day? It's just a couple years ago, but it's back in the day compared to, what we got going right now, at least. Like that one. Then, of course, I like one of the first promos that my people at the Nighthawk Network, as we formed it, sent me to utilize. Y'all remember this one?
Nikki. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. Nikki. Nikki.
Y'all remember that one? My good friend, my good sis, Aunt Nikki. Shout out to her. Thank you for checking in on my birthday. Oh, yeah, by the way, thanks everybody who gave me all the birthday wishes. They went on for days, and those with the belateds and all that. If I didn't get a chance to thank you personally or hit the check and like and love and whatnot, let me do so now. I appreciate it. I even thank all of y'all who tuned into my birthday edition of the I Am Nighthawk podcast. Because I guess what the birthday edition was the most watched podcast ever by me. Remarkable. Almost made me tempted to just make them all birthday edition just to see if people would keep tuning in. But I appreciate it all the same. Thank y'all very, very much. Also want to thank and send a special shout out to my Uncle Brian Buckner Keith, as some of you may know him. He gave me a very nice, unexpected birthday present yesterday, and I thank him for that. Thank you, Uncle B, for looking out. Looking forward to seeing what that's about when it arrives. So, yeah, basically, I'm being a little mysterious because I think I might actually discuss on the air what that present is when it comes in and have a little discussion about things of that nature at this time. So tune in next week. It may get discussed then. Just saying. Speaking of this week, I was supposed to do a taste test Tuesday today. It's something about me and that darn almond milk. I just can't seem to bring myself to properly contend with. I wanted to actually wait till the day of and get it so it'd be nice and fresh, and that wouldn't be the excuse. And try it live on the air. I'm gonna attempt to do it tomorrow during the Big Buck Sports Report. Okay, so I gotta remember. I gotta write myself a note after the show. Don't forget to buy the almond milk so we can try it on the air. And then there's other things I need to try: protein powder and protein shakes and this granola stuff I found, and a few other things that we're going to try, as we're trying to get our health a little better. My guy, Hugh Lee, he's doing real good over there with his, and, I got to keep pace. We both got to be looking real good by the time next year roll around. So, yeah, let me tighten up a little bit with some of that. But anyway, moving on to the Get Off My Lawn edition of this I Am Nighthawk podcast. Trust me, still I Am Nighthawk. We just decided to throw it back and do a Get Off My Lawn edition since I had a lot of things I wanted to fuss about and get my 2 cents in. So decided to do it that way today. Matter of fact, let me throw this in the mix. The views and opinions expressed here on Get Off My Lawn Live are those of the host or his guests and do not necessarily reflect those of the Nighthawk Network or its associates. Viewer and listening discretion is advised. Hey, y'all remember that there? I really got to do one for the I Am Nighthawk podcast. I'm working on some things, y'all. I really am. We'll talk about that in a minute. But in the meanwhile, let's get on to my next subject I got here. This year of the I Am Nighthawk podcast, we are having special reports involving that thing called AI, artificial intelligence, because it seems like by the day, different applications of AI are being utilized, including some of the stuff I'm doing with the network, which we'll talk about in a minute. But in the meanwhile, there was a report last week that the most famous group there is almost, truthfully, that group known as the Beatles, they have released a new song. You say, huh? What you talking about, E? Beatles can't release no new song. All 4 Beatles ain't with us no more. Yes, George Harrison and, of course, the great John Lennon no longer with us, but because there was a situation where they worked out some things and whatnot, back in the day, John Lennon did this song. And it wasn't completed, but it was enough of a song to where if you added some other harmonies and whatnot, you could make it a Beatles type song. So they tried to do that thing and were unable because the vocals were being muffled by the instrument. For those of you who are music creators, I dabble in that a little bit, so I understand. Basically, if your sound of your instrument overtakes the sound of the singing, it basically does not play out well. You got to understand when there are bands that are live and you are doing the microphones and whatnot, you always want to make sure that the singer mic is louder than the instrumental mics and so on and so forth, and the speakers coexist with one another. That's why you have the soundboards and whatnot. That's just the layman's term. It's a lot more complicated than that. At times, that's why when you go in those studios, you see all that master board with all these little buttons and whatnot. All those things do something. It's very complicated. That's why the best of the best make the big bucks. And the ones that can do and the ones who can't, go get them. That part. But anyway, they tried to sync everything up and they couldn't do it at the time. So, through the power of AI and a couple of people that are very skilled in that, they were able to sync up the sounds to where you could hear the vocals and turn down the instrument and whatnot. And then the other Beatles, those both alive and dead, who had vocals for that song, were finally able to sync it all together. And they created this song called Now and Then. Now, of course, because the Beatles will cost us in the podcast, either by getting us flipped for that few minutes that we try to play the song, or get took off altogether because of this thing we call copyright infringement. I will not be able to play that song for you so you see what it sounds like. However, I will do you a solid, because if I did this correctly, I saved the link. At least I thought I did, for the YouTube. Apparently, I did not. Okay, hold on. I'm going to try to do this live. You know, it's very kind of rude-like to be doing such things live on the air. But that's what happens when you are both the host and producer. And sometimes you have to be both at the same time. All right, now let's see if I can get this to figure out. Hold on, good people. Hi, Heather. I see you. I see you checking us out. Thank you for tuning in, my friend. All right, now there we go. This, my friends, is the link. So if you go to that on YouTube, you will go to the documentary called Now and Then, where they basically talk about how they made this happen. Keep in mind, I know some of y'all are like, documentary, come on, E. The documentary people is only 12 minutes long. Very informative 12 minutes, though, okay? So, yeah. I mean, if you could watch TikTok for 20, 30, 45 minutes, you can watch a 12-minute documentary that's very interesting and will teach you a couple things. So, go on and check it out when you get a minute. That is the Now and Then song, the new Beatles song, created with the help of AI. Now, understand, AI is not new, okay? It's just the ramping up of how it is used is becoming different. I go back a few years ago. There was a situation with the late, great Aretha Franklin, who, as you know, among her many accolades, had the highest selling gospel album of all time. That being Amazing Grace, the name of that album. And they actually had a movie of the same name that they recorded back in 1972, I believe, in Los Angeles, California. Now, it was supposed to come out soon after. The movie did not come out at that time due to several technical issues that basically we did not have the technology to resolve at that time. But over the course of years, they worked out certain things. The main problem, I believe, was the fact that however it was set up, the sound reel did not link up to the picture reel. Understand, in the old days of movies, it was very hard to do that. Several movies kind of threw off. I mean, if you watch like a early movie and it seemed like the sound don't quite fit what's going on the screen, that's part of why it was very difficult to sync those things up early. And then depending on what type of music and film budget you had, sometimes that became such a nightmare that you just couldn't, it just didn't make sense to put the film out. I mean, I know that's part of why Aretha pretty much did not want it to come out, because it was set up that way. But like I said, again, through that modern technology, the AI and whatnot, they were able to find a way to sync it up to where it worked. Now, understand, if you watch that movie, Amazing Grace, and if you are a Aretha Franklin fan or a fan of gospel music, all that, I think you will very much enjoy it. It still comes off a little clunky at times, and you can tell there were certain parts in the edit of the movie where we just missed out because it was a 2-night event at the church where she filmed the movie, and I'm sure it was some great songs on that we never got to hear because that part of it just wasn't fixable. Maybe someday they'll come out with an extended cut where they're able to work that out too. Who knows? But anyway, those are the things that AI are able to do and help us with. Understand that, unfortunately, speaking of strikes, the actor strike is still going on. And one of the key sticking points is that they don't have AI protections for those people who do not want their artificial likeness to be used in future movies. And actually for people who are no longer with us, who they have the technology to use in movies right now. They basically don't want to even pay the estates of the people whose images and stuff they can conjure up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they still trying to work all that out. It's messy. And again, I do point out, I do want to do an entertainment show. I want to find one of y'all to work with me with that, at least one of y'all. But until they settle the writers and the actor strike, I refuse to do so. Just in solidarity with the people who are creatives that deserve better. With all these streaming platforms and how they went up, and keep in mind, when they settle their strike, and all is said and done, all the streaming platforms, the prices will probably increase again next year to compensate. We'll have to, at that point, determine, is we keeping the Netflix, the Hulu, so on and so far. Bottom line is Tubi is great. Tubi is free. Worst case scenario, just watch Tubi, okay? Anyway, that is that much. Looking at the list, we are most of the way through. I got a few things still. But before that, speaking of AI and modern technology, because the technology is so fluent and being increased every day, I am a member of the Adobe Creative Cloud, folks. For those of you familiar with Adobe and the various programs, Photoshop and Premiere Pro, After Effects, etc., I have now dealt with that. I got an extremely nice discount that made me able to afford that, which I was cool. So I've been working with that, and as a result, I'm coming up with a variety of new and varying ways to make promos that are much different than the technology I was working with previously. I'm going to play a couple promos now so you get a little example of what we've been working with. So consider this commercial break / informational as I show you some of my newest promos here on the network. Be right back, y'all, and we'll discuss.
Find more from Hugh Lee on the Pure to the Game Sports blog or on his Guru's Perspective podcast on Spotify or Anchor Podcasts. Find more from Hugh Lee on the Pure to the Game Sports blog or on his Guru's Perspective podcast on Spotify or Anchor Podcasts.
All right, and we are back. Those are a few of the ones I've been working on. They look a little better than some of the previous stuff, don't you think? Definitely think so. It's still a work in progress. There are many, many, many tutorials in regards to the Adobe Creative Cloud, and then of course there are even live tutorials because as people are figuring out new stuff or that as they're adding new things and new options, there are people who have been working with Adobe for years that are doing their own tutorials as well as to what you can do. So I basically will be spending a good part of my winter months looking into those things and learning what I can to basically educate myself in that manner, much as I did during the pandemic, so that I can do more and more creative things with the platform and basically get my money's worth with the Adobe Creative Cloud apps. I did also want to send a special shout out to my friend who I'm sure will check this out later on. She may actually be broadcasting herself right now, which is why we have not heard from Miss Road to Stardom this evening. Miss Simmons, my good friend. Basically, she has been a consistent reporter of the Nighthawk Network since the very beginning, and I want to thank her very much for that. Some of these promos that I just showed you, she's actually integrated into her page as well. I am very appreciative for that role. Let me say that publicly here on the air. I am very thankful for your continued support. I am also thankful for a vet like yourself to acknowledge a person that's still learning the process. Keep in mind, Road to Stardom Radio has been broadcasting for over a decade now, where she is promoting independent music artists, doing interviews. She's also promoting small business on her show as well. So if you have a small business, I highly recommend you get in touch with Road to Stardom Radio and see what can be done to promote your stuff on her show, which is very international as well. And how do you find Road to Stardom and hook up with her? Well, for the first time ever here on the Nighthawk Network, and we will post it later on so Ro herself can have it. So because I want her to have it for herself to utilize as a promo herself. This is the brand new promo that I did for my good friend Miss Simmons Road to Stardom. Check it out, y'all. Check it out.
On Blog Talk Radio or where most great music podcasts are located. Don't forget to subscribe and show some love.
And there you have it. But first time ever, a Road to Stardom promo, long overdue. Me and Rose both been trying to hook some up like that for her show for the longest. I've been BSing. I apologize, Rose. I really do. I done had a lot going on, but that's something that should have been done. Because you promoting us and we promoting you, and you is just very, very intricate in what happens here in the network. We thank you so much for your continuous support, not just myself, but as you see, my partner Hugh Lee is chiming in as well. She's basically the major of the Nighthawk. For all intents and purposes, she is part of the network herself. You know what I'm saying? We haven't really made it official, but if you choose to roll, we can. Like I said, you basically doing us a favor by acknowledging us, to be honest. So we appreciate you just for that there. Totally and truthfully, like I said, me and Ro, we have collaborated on other social media as well. For those of you familiar with me from the Bigo streets, me and Ro did some things over there sometimes, some good discussions that was had by us. And I just want to thank her very much for being our friend here at the network. And I hope you like the promo. And don't worry, Ro, we are going to do a couple more. Like I said, these are all rudimentary and basic promos right now. I'm still working out the processes and learning the craft thereof. So I'm hoping that in the weeks and months to come, they will get better and better. My buddy Hugh was just commenting me yesterday saying how they just seem to be improving day by day in regards to what I'm doing and how I'm able to do so. And I'm going to keep doing my thing, Hugh. Keep doing my thing. By the way, please make sure you check out the latest episode of Hugh Lee's Guru's Perspective podcast. He is pretty much committed to do one every Tuesday at this time. So you can check out his latest thoughts on various sports topics and such. Give me a minute, Hugh. I do believe I got that in the system so people can find you and see what is the title of that one. I tried to download that one, I thought. Let me see. Give me a second, Hugh. Oh, there it is. Yes, that is the newest episode of the Guru's Perspective that he made today. I haven't even listened to it myself yet, but I promise you, I will soon after I get off of here. That is the latest episode of what it's entitled. As you see, you can find it on the Spotify. You can also find it on Anchor Podcast. And you might want to double check to see if it's on Google Podcast, because usually those things all sync up together. And I'll check Apple Podcasts for you, because I know you don't have Apple capability over there, but sometimes Spotify syncs into Apple as well. And that would be awesome. So however many ways we can find you, let's do so. As you see, Road, you can find many ways, as you saw in the promo, but I think I actually did a promo card for her as well. Let me see if this is what this is. Stand by, folks. Nope, that's not that. That is one of these that I've been working on. As you see, I've been working on different decals and whatnot. I think about another couple of weeks, I will have one that I'm happy enough with to actually start getting printed out on some shirts and things. All right, Hugh checking back in. He says, I appreciate all the love and support that people have been showing me. I appreciate y'all looking out for my brother as well. The page has been growing. Absolutely. Remember, don't go to the original page, which is the Pure to the Game page. You are now looking for the Sports Guru to You, I believe it is. Hugh, well, please type that in so I can give you the exact page. I do believe I had that in my system. Let me see if I can track that down right quick while Hugh is doing that. So I'm sure he was checking out some sports while he's checking out the show, because that's what him do. That's why he the guru. But yeah, nonetheless, please support my friends Road to Stardom and my good buddy Hugh and their endeavors, as well as Dr. Marla Facey, who had a very good show last night on her Sister Talk Radio, No Weapon Formed Against Us. The topic was about Christians owning guns and their thoughts in regards to that. It was a very interesting discussion to be had. I mean, my personal thought is, God, there it is. Thank you, Hugh. Sports Guru to You. Yes, that is the page. You now look for him on Facebook. You can also find him on the Instagram on the Whoovy, okay? WHOOVI is how that is spelled. Please type that in for us too, Hugh, if you got a second. You will look for WHOOVI on Instagram, where he is posting his reels and some of the promos that I'm doing for him. We trying to figure out how we can integrate the Spotify stuff on there as well. We, like I said, we getting a better grasp of our technology with the help of AI. We are definitely going to utilize it. Like I said, we want to start posting some of these shows on the Instagram as well, and perhaps start doing some of them live on Instagram. It's a little bit trickier because the technologies don't always sync up the same. Because you'll notice, like when I post some stuff from here on Instagram, the framing was different. But I think now in one of these latest tutorials, I figured out how to do that to where if I post stuff on Instagram, it will look much like you see it here. We will see if that, we'll know in the next few days if I work that out correctly. Yep, there it is. That is how you find him on IG, WHOOVI, Hoovy. Okay, that part. Anything else on this list? And we already talked about the taste test. Did not work out for us. Sorry about that, y'all. Couple more things before we head on out. Okay, one, this weekend marks Veterans Day. Okay, Veterans Day should be one of our most important holidays here in these United States. I think about it for two reasons. One, because my father and my uncle and my other uncle and my other uncle, God rest all their souls, were all veterans of the Vietnam War. And I like to honor them at this moment for serving our country. It is so crazy that these people go off and do things that many of us would not even remotely attempt to do. There's so many people walking around my city right now with weapons of mass destruction in their possession, where if they were asked to protect this country and make sure everything was all to the good, they would not step foot out their house. Like, oh no, I'm not doing that. I don't want to be in the war. No. Scared of that. But will shoot somebody over their stanky gym shoes. Okay? So for those brave men and women that do that, let us honor them appropriately. It is sad that once they come back for their tours of duty and the wars and whatnot, it is hard for them to get health care and housing and all that. I honestly feel like if you have served in the military for a certain amount of time, they should give you all that for the free. For real. And if you feel differently about that, Smurf you. No, we can discuss it if you do. I'm just saying. But no, I honestly feel like they should get every benefit possible because that is the ultimate sacrifice, especially for those who went over and dealt with those things and lose their life. Their family should benefit fully from them making that ultimate sacrifice in every conceivable way we possibly can. Free healthcare, free education, free medicine, the whole shebang bang. Okay? I feel that way. That's my opinion. If you don't, you really don't, I guess. So that is that. The other thing I got to fuss about today because it's already bothering me already here on November 7th of 2023. Why every year do it seem like we are rushing doggone Christmas to be here? It is not even the middle of November yet. And many stores be like, damn a Thanksgiving, straight to Christmas. I was in Target today. Target got about 7-8 hours of Christmas stuff all freaking ready. Already. The ornaments, the tinsels, all the little lights and whatnot. They got all the little specialty gifts that they like to pull out this time of year. Crap that you would not buy. No other reason except that, okay, it's about $20-$30 and you want to have a decent little Christmas present to give people. So out come the little mini waffle irons and clocks and all the little stupid stuff that only seem to come out around Christmas time in those little aisles. We are so determined to spend the money as quick as we get it. We are talking about the economy is in a bad way because the prices are high. But guess what, though? Y'all still paying for this stuff, okay? I don't go to Walmart or Target or Myers or pick a store in your locale, and it's not a day where it's not at least semi-busy this time of year, okay? Shelves be stocked on Tuesday. Shelves be empty on Saturday. People buying stuff left and right, spend up all their little money. That is why credit debt here in America is the highest it has ever been. And there are still several ways that they are making to where you can make payments on stuff. Now, you know, it's like most of the furniture stores have payment plans now to where you can basically get your whole furniture set and pay for it over a course of several months and whatnot. Snap Finance or Firm, it's a few of them. But yeah, they just can't wait for y'all to spend this money. and talk about how big the profits was and did not want to pay nobody and then be mad when people go on strike. So that ties everything back to the original subject, okay? Be mindful of these things as you are out and about. And again, I always ask two things. One, that Christmas present getting, is it really something that person or you are going to utilize to where it was worth it to put yourself in debt end of the year? And two, if it's something you really truly want and want to not worry about how much it costs or whatnot, I understand it's supposed to be on sale for the holiday and all that. But can't you just wait and save up and get it then? Why don't you do that? Just save up. It ain't worth going into debt for just because it's Christmas and you don't want to feel bad because you didn't get people stuff and all that. I'm so glad I don't celebrate Christmas for some of those very reasons. And people call me cheap and a-hole and Mr. Grinch and all that stuff. I could care less. Okay. Smurf y'all. Smurf you 2 times. How about that? Buy humbug, all that good stuff. They better put some respect on Thanksgivings, that part. The fat people's holiday, as I used to call it. Y'all know I usually do my alternative Thanksgiving and whatnot. I'm still debating on one, if I'm going to do it, and two, what am I going to cook this year? I did some of everything. I've been doing alternative Thanksgiving for about good 12, 13 years now. That part. But we'll discuss that sometime soon because Thanksgiving will be here before Christmas. So we'll have time to talk about it. Anyway, y'all, that is going to wrap it up for this week's episode of the I Am Nighthawk Podcast. Thank you again for tuning in. Tune in tomorrow when me and my good buddy in the comments there, one Hugh D. Lee, will be doing our shows, which is, of course, the Big Buck Sports Report and the show within the show, which is known as the Guru's Football Session that we do. I am very much looking forward to doing that, Hugh, because it was some very good NFL games this week. And hell, I definitely got to talk about what's going on with the basketball. No, not the pros. I'm talking about the college basketball. Day one of the college basketball season was pretty much yesterday. And already it was some games like, they lost to who? They beat who? They got who? Yeah. We're definitely going to talk about that mañana. But anyway, again, thank you all. And Ro, please, my friend, if you get a chance to check that out, and you know I'm about to send it to you, let me know what you thought. I really hope you like it. Until then, good people, I'm still working on promos, so I ain't had time to do an outro yet. So until we get that situated, we're just going to play the intro for the outro here. And hopefully soon, we'll have something that I'm really, really happy with. But until then, this is the I Am Nighthawk Podcast. I, E.B., the Nighthawk. And it's time for me to do my Nighthawk thing. Till next time, oh, miracle and beyond. I'm out in the deuces.